Hello, hello. This is Dr. Bill Davis. Welcome back to the UCM podcast. We are excited to be with you once again today. Today, we're going to be talking about why your UC practice can't grow past $20,000 per month and how to fix it. This is a common sticking point. It's something that we're seeing throughout chiropractic, but definitely within upper cervical, where doctors get in this first stage of growth, the practice growth stage one, collecting less than $20,000 per month, and they get stuck there. They don't know how to move out of that stage and begin to scale their practice beyond that initial stage. And it can be extremely frustrating and just it can feel almost hopeless at times just being able to like not knowing what to do to get you beyond that initial stage. We've talked to doctors even recently who been in practice for 12 years and still can't get past that $20,000 per month stage. Doctors that have been in practice for 20 years. And so it's so important that we discuss this topic so that we can help you to see that there are ways to move out of practice growth stage one. There is a path forward. It's a proven path. It's a path that so many doctors have been able to go beyond that level because they've applied these basic principles and they've allowed someone to come alongside them and help them to see that there is a path forward. And so, just to give you an idea of how big this issue is within upper cervical practice, based on our 2024 upper cervical practice survey data, 20% of all upper cervical practices in our most recent survey were in this initial practice growth stage, collecting less than $20,000 per month. So, I mean, that's 1 in 5. That is a large group of upper cervical practices. So, that initial stage, that do everything doc stage, is a very common place where doctors are. And so it's important to address this stage, address you if you're in this stage, and help you to see that there is a way out. There is a way to move beyond it. But there is some things that need to happen within your practice. And so, I'm going to give you a few examples because number one, I want you to help you to see that there is a way out, and it can happen no matter where you are in practice and however long you've been in practice, and that there's hope because we've seen it. This is, just recent examples that we've seen significant growth with doctors who've had that breakthrough. They've been able to move out of that initial practice growth stage by applying the things that we're going to talk about today. One example is Dr. Greg Dutson. Many years in practice, decades in practice, and just was in that practice growth stage one, just was having a hard time moving beyond that. And as we began to work with him relatively quickly, within 4 months or so, we saw him go out of practice growth stage one, move into practice growth stage two, and now as we he's moving into the next stage of growth, getting ready to hire an associate. And so it's something that can happen no matter how long you've been in practice. You can have your breakthrough if you just trust that there is a path forward. And, it's not just Dr. Dutson. We get another great example is Dr. Mercedes Cook, bought a practice, new in practice, bought a practice that was in practice growth stage one and was able to double that practice in 1 year using these principles we're going to talk about today. And, she was able to keep going with that practice, eventually hire an associate, practice continued to grow. She, recently had a baby and she got to go on a 3-month maternity leave. Her practice kept going. And that was that's the blessing of moving beyond practice growth stage one and into, in her case, growth stage 3, where she has more stability in the practice. The practice can run without her. That is a fantastic thing when you can get to that level. Another great example, doctors Connor and Leah Davis, were able to apply these principles, broke through that 20K per month level relatively quickly after opening. and have continued to grow and now are nearing that 40K per month, getting ready to hire an associate. And so it's there for you. You can do it. You can break through that no matter how long you've been in practice, no matter if you've only been in practice, a year or less, if you've been in practice for 20 years or more, if you apply these principles, if you begin to do these things, you can move out of this practice growth stage. So let's go through what is necessary in order for your UC practice to grow past 20K per month. The number one thing is you have to have a mindset that is consistent with doctors who are in the other practice growth stages. The doctors think differently who are in practice growth stage 3, 4, 5, 6. They have a different mindset. They think differently. They have a different way that they see their practice, the way that they see their patients, the way that they see their team, the way that they see their team, their community. Right? It's they think differently. We talked about this a lot in our book, Upper Cervical Practice Mastery: Learn Success Secrets of the World's Top Upper Cervical Doctors. We examined specific mindset differences with top doctors and how they think and what is important to them, and so that's a crucial piece. If you don't have that mindset, you've got to start building it. A great way to start to build it is change what goes into your mind. Zig Ziglar said, if you want to change where you are, you have to change what goes into your mind, right? And so when you change what goes into your mind by putting in information that's related to top doctors and how they think, then it will change the way you begin to think. And so our book, great resource, Upper Cervical Practice Mastery, pick it up, start to listen to it, start to read it, start to understand these types of mindsets that is necessary, these habits of thinking, and begin to apply it. Our podcast, right? You're listening to the podcast right now. That's great. It's a great step. But listen to more podcasts. I've given this challenge to many doctors who are stuck in practice growth stage 1 is listen to one of our podcasts every day for 30 days. Commit to that, 30 minutes a day for 30 days and see what starts to change and see how your mind starts to change. The way you think begins to change. Another great way to do this is to consistently be reading books, right? Learning, growing your mind, helping you to understand that there is different ways that you can think rather than the way that you're thinking. But it goes beyond just your mindset and how you think, but it also has to do with your habits. The second thing here is you've got to develop the habits of successful upper cervical docs, right? This is a major reason why your practice hasn't been able to grow past 20K per month, because you have the habits of someone who is collecting less than $20,000 per month. And so you have to start changing your habits. You have to start changing what you're doing. You have to start taking massive amount of action on a daily basis. And it starts with your habits. Again, we wrote about this extensively in our book, Upper Cervical Practice Mastery. We talk about 10 different habits that the most successful upper cervical doctors do and that you can do also. Habits is literally just making a decision to say, I'm going to do this differently. I'm going to do this differently. I'm going to do this differently. These are habits I'm going to develop. And so by developing different habits, you start to change your outcomes. And so changing the way you're thinking and changing what you're doing with your habits is the beginning of changing your practice stage. And so again, the book is a great resource for this. The podcast is a great resource for this. Our webinars, all these free tools that we have can help you with your habits, but some of it too requires accountability. And we can talk more about that in a minute. Another huge part of moving out of practice growth stage 1 is learning how to hire and train CAs, right? There's too many doctors in practice growth stage 1 who have believed that they can do it all by themselves, that they don't need to hire a CA, that they can do everything they need to do within the practice. And I'll tell you, you're never going to make the impact that you could in your community and with your practice that if you just learn how to hire and train CAs, right? And it's one of these things that if you want to really make an impact, right? And I mean, I think everybody goes into upper cervical practice because they want to help people, right? And why not help more people, right? Because that's the whole idea here is when you're collecting less than $20,000 per month, you're not helping as many people as you could be if you were collecting $40,000 per month, because all money is certificates of appreciation that you're receiving for doing good work. And so if you learn how to hire and train CAs, if you learn how to, what does it take to hire good people? How do you identify them? What do you need to do to set proper expectations for them so that they can win in their role? What can you do to hold them accountable to those results? These types of things, these are basics of business that so many upper cervical chiropractors just don't ever learn. And that's a part of the reason why they're stuck in practice growth stage 1, why you can't grow past 20K per month is you haven't learned how to hire and train CAs. Again, this is something that we talk about all the time on this podcast, in our book, and so forth. It is possible to learn these things, but there's skills that you've got to master. And then the next one here is attracting new patients, right? This has to be part of it's not always the only issue, right? When you are collecting less than $20,000 per month, but it is an issue. It's part of it. I've never met $1 million practice that is struggling with attracting new patients. And but I've seen many practices that are collecting less than $20,000 per month that are struggling with attracting new patients. And so understanding that this is a problem. Like if you are seeing less than 5 new patients per month, for instance, then this is a major issue. It's going to be difficult to grow your practice if you're seeing 2 or 3 new patients a month, right? So understanding that there's something has to change with the way that you are attracting new patients into your practice, whether it's building a health practitioner referral network or actually having some good digital marketing practices in place, or emphasizing patient education so that you can generate more referrals. All these types of things are just key foundational steps of having an upper cervical practice and seeing you go past that $20,000 per month level. And the last one here is to get guidance. And this may be the most important one, especially at this level. When you're at less than $20,000 per month, many times you don't know what to do next. Like, what is your first step? What's your next step after that? What is the third step, right? The understanding that there is a path forward. Number one, having that hope. You've got to have hope. But number two is having somebody come alongside you and say, okay, you can do this. You have the capacity to do this. You have the potential to do this. You've got to do this first. All right. Now you did that. Great. Now let's do this next. And then this. And then this, right? Having that clear guidance, that clear plan is so important. And so, when you're looking for somebody to guide you in your business, these are some of the things that I look for, right? I've used a business guide, a coach or some sort of a consultant for every business that I've ever had. And right now I'm using a business coach. I constantly am involved with masterminding and having other people that are pouring into me and helping me to understand how best to grow my business and make a bigger impact. And so what are some things I look for in a business guide? Number one is that they understand the uniqueness of my business, right? So for you, you're in your upper cervical practice, they need to be able to understand what is an upper cervical practice and how can they uniquely come alongside you and help you grow an upper cervical practice. And so that's a extremely important part of this, because an upper cervical practice is not just just like any other business, right? There's uniqueness to it that has to be understood so that you can effectively communicate with that guide effectively, and that they can communicate with you. Number two is I look for someone that has gotten consistent results, right? You don't want to see somebody who's just brand new in this, doesn't have any idea about it. You don't want to be someone's first first client, right? If you can, right? Get somebody with some of that proven track record. Someone with similar values to mind. That's the next one here, right? You want somebody that, just because someone has gotten results doesn't mean that you necessarily connect with them. And then the next one is that you connect with their personality. If they have the similar values, but maybe they rub you the wrong way. Maybe you just don't connect with their personality. And so that's another thing to look for in a business guide. A proven track record, right? Consistent results over and over. They've shown this app year after year after year, and they understand the different aspects of my business, right? So for instance, you could have somebody who's a great guide when it comes to your technique, but they may not be a great guide when it comes to patient management or understanding your practice and understanding how to help you grow it. So could we be a good guide for you, right? That could be a question that you've been asking or wondering about as you've engaged with us over the years and learned from us and been engaged with this podcast is, do we understand the uniqueness of your business? Yes, we do. We understand the unique challenges and opportunities in upper cervical practice, because this is all we do. Every day we help upper cervical practices grow. Have you gotten consistent results? Yeah, we have. In fact, we have a 98% retention rate. So that is extremely high in anything as it's related to any type of a coaching or marketing or any of that type of thing. And so 98% retention rate is extremely good. Have similar values to mine. We're a company that's built on Christ. If that resonates with you, then you have similar values to us. You don't have to be a Christian to be our client. That's not the point, but that's our practice. I mean, our company is built on the principles that I've understood from the Bible, and I've continued to communicate that in who I am as a person and how I run this agency. Connect with their personality, right? Working directly with myself and with Tony and helping us, do you connect with us, right? Do you connect with our personalities? Tony's a great guy to work with. He's very easy to work with, and people really like him. A proven track record. 12 years we've been serving the upper cervical chiropractic industry. This is something that we have consistently gotten results with. Understand the different aspects of your business. Our products and services are focused on different practice growth stages, different budgets associated with each, combining practice growth sessions, internal marketing, team building, system development, digital marketing, and more, right? So this is what we're all about, is helping upper cervical practices grow. And so if you're in this stage, you're in this initial stage, practice growth stage 1, collecting less than $20,000 per month, we have specific programs that can help you move through this stage. And this is what we do. This is what we do all day long, every day. We help upper cervical practices grow. We've helped over 300 upper cervical doctors over the past 12 years and helped them grow through the practice stages, doubled dozens of practices. We've helped doctors build $1 million practices, add associates to their practices, add locations, add CAs, new patient coordinators, office managers, improve efficiency and effectiveness. This is what we do all day long, every day. And it doesn't matter what stage you're in. Now, obviously, this particular podcast is focused on practice growth stage 1. And if you're in that stage, we would love to help you move through that stage into the next stage, because you are the hero, doc. You're the one that's there every day, touching people's lives, making an impact on them with your care. And what we want to do is just come alongside you and say, okay, we're your guide. We're going to show you what's next. We're going to show you how to do this. We're going to identify the issues that may be going on with your practice and what's holding you back from progressing on your own, and begin to show you there is a way forward. And for us, this is a program that we've developed for doctors in practice growth stage 1 and 2 is our 180-day UC practice breakthrough. And the goal of that is really to move you through this practice growth stage 1 as quickly as possible. And so if you're looking to, take the practice and break through in 2025, move through this stage and really begin to move into the next stage, then I would encourage you to get started with the 180-day breakthrough right away. And what it includes is weekly practice growth sessions, right? This is a 30-minute session each week with your personal practice growth guide, where we work on these things with you that are going to help you to grow your practice, going to work on your mindset, work on those the habits of thinking that you may or may not have in place in order to develop, expand, and train your mind so you can help more people in your community. Focus on things like purpose and intentionality and perseverance. Mindset matters. And then work on your habits. Develop the habits of a successful UC doc, right? Things like being on time and body language and energy and passion and being coachable, and these habits that are so important we work on with clients in practice growth sessions. And then also working with you on hiring and training CAs. Teach you how to hire ideal team players who are humble, hungry, and smart. Teach you how to hire and train and develop chiropractic advocates as CAs with clear KRAs and KPIs, position agreements, job scorecards, training schedules, so they can keep getting better and better at what they do. This is all part of this 180-day breakthrough. And what about new patients? As I said, many doctors in practice growth stage 1, collecting less than $20,000 per month, need more new patients. And so what about that? Well, our 180-day breakthrough is chock full of opportunities to generate more new patients, including our upper cervical awareness website and directory. This is, when people are searching online who have chronic health conditions, they find this website and they get you, we get them connected with you, bring them into your practice through that website. Local search engine optimization. This is when people are searching online for chronic health conditions in your local area, connecting them with you, connecting to your website, making your website a highly converting website so that when people land there, they take action, they schedule appointments, they contact the office, they don't just bounce away. And then Google reviews, making sure that your reviews are consistently increasing with our tools, with what we're doing with our Google review generator is a huge part of this as well. We want to make sure that that's continuing. And video optimization, distribution, promotion is included in this, so that as you record videos and as you get, video testimonials and doctor videos, that we're using those within your online ecosystem to connect with people who are looking for help. And then generating referrals from multiple sources with our monthly email newsletters and custom promotion of practice events and in-office educational flyers. This is all included in the 180-day breakthrough. Generating new patients from reactivations. If you've been in practice for a while, we can generate a significant number of new patients through our highly tested and proven database reactivation campaign, so we can generate people from your inactive patient list back into the practice. And then being able to track all of your leads in a custom dashboard is part of this. And then monthly data reporting, so you know exactly what's happening with your leads, with your new patients, and all of that is communicated to you. And this is, what we've been doing. This 180-day breakthrough has been working incredibly well, combining coaching and marketing together to get you that breakthrough at an affordable price that anyone in practice growth stage 1, if you're collecting less than $20,000 per month, we haven't had one doctor who said they couldn't afford this. And so it's a highly affordable plan. It's designed for you. We want to see you break through that practice growth stage 1, and all you need to do is get started with it. But even beyond that, we even have more included with this. If you schedule today, as you hear this podcast, we've got bonuses that are in addition to what I've already talked about for the 180-day breakthrough. uppercervicalcare.com, another incredible website. It's got more upper cervical doctors on it than any other website on the internet. Fantastic directory, highly ranks high in lots of different search engines. You also get a premium listing on the Upper Cervical Care website included with this 180-day breakthrough. You get the new patient email sequence. This is another great feature to be able to educate patients and be able to help them to see, hey, this is something that I need to tell others about, right? Being able to give them the right wording, help them to understand what you're talking about in the practice, reinforce key concepts like holding is healing and retracing and so forth. That new patient email sequence is included in this 180-day breakthrough. The third bonus is an upper cervical specific whiteboard video. This goes onto your website and on your social media, a great tool to communicate upper cervical. And then lastly, the fourth bonus here that's included with this is the Spinal Column in-office PDF newsletter to continue to educate your patients within the practice about upper cervical care. And so all of this is included. Everything I've talked about, all the coaching, all the marketing, all the internal tools, everything is included in this. And this is why this is such an incredible program and why we're seeing such amazing breakthroughs, even with doctors who have been in practice for years or decades, because this is a combination of everything you need to grow. And that's what is necessary. And so all you need to do is go over to the website, ucmgrow.com. That's ucmgrow.com. And click on the button in the upper right-hand corner that says Start Growing. Just click on that, pick a time to get an initial call with us, and that will be the first step in getting you the breakthrough that you're looking for. And how do we work together? That initial call, we're going to discuss your practice goals, your challenges, your opportunities, and really understand you and your practice. And then from there, we're going to spend some time analyzing your practice potential. We're going to give you a breakthrough and then bring you back for a second call. And that's your breakthrough blueprint call. Really discuss your strategic growth plan, the expectations you can expect from us, how to get started, and that sort of thing. And then once you do get started with us, our onboarding process, we have a client success team that engages with you, walks you through the whole process, that continue to assess you and equip you for success. Then we're going to launch all of the marketing components of your system. We're going to continue weekly practice growth sessions with you to work on the building blocks of success that we've discussed today and assess your growth. And ultimately, what's going to happen is over time, as we work together on these key things, is you're going to have your own breakthrough. And then you're going to be able to tell others about what we're doing and why this is such a crucial thing for you. And that's going to help grow upper cervical. And that's what it's all about, right? Growing upper cervical, helping more sick and suffering people find hope and healing. And so, Doc, if you're in this place, your practice is collecting less than $20,000 per month, and it's time. It's time to get that breakthrough. It's time. This is the last year you're going to be in that practice growth stage 1, and you're going to break through this year. Then go over to the website, ucmgrow.com, click on Start Growing, and get your own breakthrough started today. And as we always say, go team upper cervical.